Strange New Worlds, Star Trek. For most of it being shit, in my opinion, um, I have to say that Star Trek Strange New Worlds has kept me interested in watching it. Season one is the best so far. Season two, less so. Season three got back to more intrigue for the show for me, so kept me interested for season four. I know that it's going to end season five with, I think, less episodes, if I understand it correctly. And from what I understand, it's going to lead into the Kirk Spock, I guess, reboot of the original series. Now, you're never ever going to, and this is before I get into my review, you're never ever going to replace um, the original Star Trek and, for me, Star Trek: The Next Generation. Those are two shows um, that hit, a hit for me. Um, More so The Next Generation because that's the one I grew up on. I would later watched the Kirk Spock old show and Deep Space Nine. Those are going to be my top three. Voyager, I've gone back and watched, and I could respect it a little more than I used to. But I understand that you're never going to bring that magic back to its fullest. I am intrigued with the new Kirk Spock show if it gets off and going, because this show sets these characters up for that. And one thing that's the Stranger Worlds, honestly, for me, has kept me watching it is the actors playing these roles and the characterizations of these characters. Not perfect. Not perfect at all. But for a Star Trek show, this show has felt more Star Trek than any of the Kirkman shit otherwise. I think all the rest of that stuff, I hate it. So having said that, Stranger Worlds here, we episode one was okay. Um and a good kickoff for it. But I'm here to talk about episode two. Episode two was pretty crazy. Okay. Um, there are going to be some spoilers, so just go watch it if you have not seen it. I'll give you time. But the reason that season two stuck out for me here, and interested to see kind of like other episodes, obviously, by 10 is like this brought me back to season one with the Gorn and those episodes that Gorn were introduced where the suspense, there's horror in it, the characters, what's gonna happen. You basically know the red shirts, but like one thing that this show does well at moments is if a character is in danger or there's a threat to that main character and a possibility of them getting hurt or killed. Um, so episode two here finds Kirk, Spock, and I hate my brain sometimes, and I'm fighting a cold cough. Da, 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 da. Anyway, three characters for most of this episode. Okay, they find a derelict starship, the Griffin or Griffith, I think, in this area of space, and they board it and they don't find any life signs. And as the episode went on, it made me feel like a lot of elements from Event Horizon, a little bit, not all of it, about what a ship can do to the mind when a horrific event has happened aboard it. And they really nail it here. Like it was one of the best Stranger World episodes, probably going back to the first season, like the whole first season I'm talking about. There were some episode here or there in season two and season three that did stand out, but I have to say this episode two, like, is probably one of my favorites and overall for a long time. It starts out with just the investigation, and then the horror gets snaps in, and I don't want to reveal too much. I know it spoiled a little bit, but it was a really good fucking episode. I love how this show actually has horror elements that are horrific, that feel like a horror movie. And while Star Trek has done horror elements in the past, I think this show primarily nails quite a bit sometimes with the horrific events that are happening with the characters and the surrounding things and whatnot. So yeah, um awesome episode. See episode 2, episode 1 honestly, like, yeah, it's fine, but this episode made me forget episode 1. That's how good it was. I like the characterization of Kirk here. I was skeptical about because in season one, I think if I recall, he's only in like one episode. I have to rewatch it again, but he wasn't prevalent. And I was skeptical about who they're going to bring on Kirk, and the actor does a fine job. A different kind of Kirk. Um, Not so much the campy Kirk like the 60s show. It's fair because, you have to make a little bit of change, I guess. I still really enjoy the actor who plays Spock. I was very skeptical with him when he got introduced in Discovery, I think it was, up until a certain point when I stopped watching the show because I hated it. But I think the actor as Spock here has evolved to being one of my favorites because he is Spock. He has the logic, he has the humanity side of him. The only thing I don't like, one critique of the whole overview of the entire show so far is I don't like the relationship crap that some of these characters have. I think it's okay, but I don't care, honestly. But that aside, I think I really like Spock. I really like the actor who plays Pike, and really all these characters that have come along for the ride. Um, so yeah, so far with the two episodes of episode 4, solid. Obviously, episode 2 being the standout for me. Um, so it kind of made me kind of want to go back and rewatch the previous seasons again. Season 2, maybe not so much because that one so far has been the weakest in my opinion. But if this show finishes strong with this season and season 4 and season 5, it'd be a solid overall Star Trek show from the Kirkman era that has been for me personally been like mostly shit. Gotta throw Picard season 3 in there as a good positive season, but you had to go through the muck of season 1 and 2 of Picard that were terrible to get there. You could honestly watch Star Trek Next Generation all the way through, watch season 3 of Picard, and that ends the crew's arc. For me, that's how I look at it. I discount season 1 and season 2 of Picard because I hated it. Um, and I watched all of season 1 of Picard, and season 2 I only watched the first few episodes, and I was like, yeah, that no. But season three, because they were bringing back all the original cast, I'm like, this is what should have been the first season of Picard, and it closed off those characters' arcs really nicely. Okay. So anyway, that's my review of mainly episode two of season four, and season or episode one was fine. But so far so good. I hope it continues well, and I hope that God they don't have another musical episode. Oh my God. Here's hoping. But okay so far. Okay so far. So looking forward to the next episode.